Well, I'm camping at Kettle Lakes Provincial Park in Northern Ontario, near Timmins. And I went to make myself some dinner. My white gas stove broke. So I wasn't going to use this thing until the fall for my backpacking trips, because that's what I got it for. But I thought I'd try it tonight because I got nothing else. It's a FireAnt stove. I got it from the States, mail ordered, and it's a stick stove, like, you know, tons of stick stoves out there. Well, I got this one. It's titanium and it's really small. The FireAnt fits in that. I'm gonna see, one thing I looked at this and it's really small, so how good is the base? And I'll put this on there. And basically what you do is you feed the sticks through the bottom, like any stick stove. One I use a lot is the hobo stove from Kettle. The reason why I got this one is that the Kettle is a fantastic stove. I love it. In fact, it's my favorite. But this is really lightweight compared to the hobo stove. So yeah, and I'm putting it right on the ground here because there's just a bunch of sand, just typical boreal forest here. A whole bunch of sand here. The fire's not going to go anywhere. Let's see, there's a cup of water in there. Let's see how long it takes to get that to a boil. Kind of liking it already because it's going really good, and there's no breeze. Usually you need a bit of a breeze for a stick stove to keep going. So if you don't know anything about stick stoves, basically it's just a stove that feeds on little tiny sticks around the campfire or pine cones or whatever, and it really helps you on fuel consumption on long trips. So I always take some type of stick stove with me on long trips. Never look at a pot if you want it to boil. I'm gonna just try a different pot. It's higher to see what it's like. That's pretty stable too, actually. The one thing I didn't think this stove would be is stable, but it is. What I really like about it too is that it's got this base that goes on 3/4 up, and then you put your transient stove in there with your alcohol, and you use this as alcohol burning base. So when I'm on my backpacking trip this year, actually multiple backpacking trips I'm doing it this year in the fall, I'm gonna put the alcohol in here and use this as a backup in case it's rainy and miserable out and I can't get dry sticks. If you've never been to Kettle Lakes Provincial Park, you gotta go. It's yeah, it's far up north for some people. If you live up here, it's not. But it's full of Kettle lakes, a whole bunch of different lakes, and you can spend the whole week going to all the different lakes to fish and swim and hike. It's a very unique place of Northern Ontario. It's very boreal forest up here, jack pine, sphagnum moss, that type of thing. I like that. Yeah, people from Southern Ontario might say, well, that's a long drive. Well, I left at 7 this morning from Peterborough, which is just north of Toronto, just south of Algonquin, and I got here by 3. So yeah, that's good. I don't know how much of that. 6 to 8 hours, I guess. But you're not going to fight for a campsite. The joke is I reserved a campsite, and when I got here, they kind of giggled at me. They're like, you don't have to reserve a campsite at Kettle Lake Provincial Park. It's starting to boil now. That's pretty cool. It's starting to boil now, and it hasn't been on there for more than 2 minutes. Not even, let's put it a minute and a half. So if I took that, packed up with this, with that pot, this cup, I just spilled my whiskey. And that base plate with a transient stove on top with some fuel, you're good. And I got myself some tea. It's a good thing I spilled my whiskey. It's tea time. That's amazing.